Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for us to have a bit of a discussion about the upcoming Wuthering Waves update. Because boy, oh boy, we've gotten some more official information about the patch. I know this screen might look like I'm rehashing another video, but don't worry. There's actually a lot of new information for us to look at. And specifically, the information that I'm talking about is one thing that is going to be top of mind, knowing that we have two upcoming banners. And that's actually going to be the Astrite count. Because Kuro Games has gone ahead, come out with a, bit of a refurbished graphic over here, going over all the new features. But the big thing is that for all of the events that are in the update, they've come out with official details. So, of course, right, the first thing that we're going to get off the bat is 20 pulls, right? One 10 pull for the regular limited banner, and then one set of 10 pulls for the weapon banner. That's awesome, right? We knew about that. This was one of, like, the main confirmed things from the update. But I want you guys to keep, like, a bit of an active count with me. This is about 20 pulls that we have over here. I'm just going to keep an active count on the side, right? That's 20 pulls. Then we get into the Sanguis Plateau area event, and then we got about 980 more Astrite getting added on top of this one, along with all of the other rewards. And if you're able to do some math, let me prove that I can real fast by using Google Calculator on the side. 980 divided by 160, that's about 6 more pulls right there. So we're at 26 already. Now let's move on to the next one. We got the 7-day login event. So that's about, technically, we'll call that about 5 more limited pulls. We're already at 31, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, Title Defense Simulator. 1,200 Astrite from this bad boy. What's that going to be? About 7.5 more. Okay. We might just round up to 8 for that one. And then another 400 Astrites. Let's add in 2 because we rounded up the other one. And then there's another 400. And another 400. And another 400. You can kind of see what's going on over here. This update, I do believe, genuinely looks like one of the most Astrite-rich patches we've ever seen. And this is all just from the events that we've covered so far. A little bit of rounding here and there, right? Because polls are 160 and we're seeing numbers like 400. My total right now is looking at about, like, 39, 41, 43. I'm looking at about 49 polls just from events. And just from the ones that we've seen so far. From all the ones that I've just seen, it looks like about 49 pulls, give or take 1 or 2 in either direction based off of rounding. And ladies and gentlemen, there are still more events, and we still haven't even talked about the actual, like, chests, the rewards, the activities that are straight up just going to be occurring in Sanguis Plateau as you naturally go through exploration. So let's just keep moving on. And then we got another. Okay. I'm not gonna count this as this is 50. That one is sure. Then they got the Back to Solaris event. If you actually do it, that's about 3 more, but we're not gonna add them. We're not gonna add them to the count. And then they got a bunch of double events. And so this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I know we got off to a bit of a weaker roll at the end there, but that's 49 pulls just from the area events. That's 49 pulls just from the events. And guys, there's actually a lot more than this coming up. Because this is not telling the full story. I kind of alluded to it earlier. But we've also got, and I'll just show you all the details over here of exactly what I'm talking about. We had the new area preview that actually launched a couple of days ago. That was giving us some insight as to all of the different activities that were going to be available. I think that, the 980, right? It's clearly factored into here. The count is adding up, right? They showed for Sanguis Plateau. Where was it? 980 total Astrite. That makes sense, right? But guess what isn't having an Astrite number added onto here? You got the main quest. You also got, well, these events. These combat events that you know for certain are going to give Astrite as well. And then the whole Marks of the Wild puzzles. That's all part of exploration. And that's going to add into the total. You add in the end game resets, right? We're going to have 2 of them. Maybe 2.5 of them. Perhaps around 3 every single patch, right? And then you get maybe like around a 10 pull from all of those different game modes. guys, the income for this update, assuming that you are able to clear, you know, at least 90% of the end game modes, maybe Whimpering Waste is going to cause some issues for you. The end count for this update, it's looking to be over at least 100 pulls. And then if you don't even factor in all of these rewards over here from the 20 pull, that still would have been like an 80, 90 pull update. And then you just throw these right on top. I'm going to be honest here. I don't think anyone saw income like this coming for this update. I don't think anyone thought that Wuthering Waves 2.6 was going to be this bombshell patch that was, I mean, essentially, you can just see all the math that we've done over here. The total count should easily be at 100, if not beyond that. And then it only gets higher and higher as you're doing things like the Battle Pass, right? Or you have things like the Daily Lunite subscription. I think that if you're somebody, right, that's looking to pull a copy of Augusta, looking to pull a Carlotta, looking to pull Shorekeeper, their weapons, all of that, or even a copy of Yuno or Chikona in the second half, I don't think you're really going to have that many problems, assuming that, A, you saved, which is probably going to be pretty easy to do, considering that the second half of 2.5 is all reruns. And there was only one new character released in this patch, for Lova. There really shouldn't be any circumstance, at least in my opinion, that somebody is, like, not able to get exactly what they're looking for in this update. And I would dare say, if you get lucky in winning some 50-50s, I think it's a pretty good chance you should be able to guarantee at least 2 characters from what we have going on over here. And this is kind of like the other thing that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about enough when it comes to how these resources get split, is that Kuro actually giving out a lot of weapon pulls. Oh, and sorry, there's something I completely forgot about as well. We have these. Yeah, you get 14 more pulls in the shop reset every single update as well. So we're definitely at above 100 with this one. I wasn't even factoring these in. But think about it this way. You're getting 7 of these every update. Then they just threw you like that random 10. It's like at this point, I'm pretty sure day 1 players have already been able to guarantee a weapon. And I'm pretty sure that those that aren't day 1 players, they're really close to getting their own copy of a weapon as well. And so this is really just like, I guess, like another way that players are really getting motivated to, I don't know, save, do all of that stuff. And honestly, especially after a patch like 2.5 that people were calling a little bit more dry, I felt like this alone would have made up for it. But then you see the totals everywhere else. And guys, I dare say the devs might even be like slightly over delivering. I don't think anyone expected this level of income across this update. And to a degree, I think it's just going to raise expectations across the board moving forward, where I don't think anyone would have been mad at Kuro Games if this was like a 70-80 pull patch. I'm just going to be real with you. And so they've raised the bar for this one. And in a lot of ways, they have fucked over numerous other gacha titles by raising the bar this much over here. But I think that these devs clearly have like some level of confidence, a pretty high level of confidence in the products that they're bringing to market, that they expect people to spend anyways, even with this high level of income, because they're actually giving reasons for people to want these characters beyond them just being broken or overpowered in the end game. It's like all the animations, it's all the aesthetics, it's all of that. And let's just be real here, ladies and gentlemen. I think that there's going to be quite a bit of spending done during this update, because boy, oh boy, the kit design, all the stuff that we've seen for units like Augusta, you know, the big features that they've made for IUNO as well. Let's be real here. I think other gachas are 1000% completely, at least the existing ones right now, they're completely screwed. Because people expected less from Wuthering Waves. They expected kind of like the income, all of that to sort of die down, because that's what all the Hoyoverse games do. You think about the 1.7s, the 1.8s, the 2.7s, the 2.8s of the past in all of those big gacha titles, and they've been garbage. They've been trash. But WUA is actually reaching the climax of its story in the latter half of its updates. And kind of like the altering, kind of like the difference in perception, the difference in like actual results that the player base is seeing, I'm just going to be honest, I think they're setting a new standard. They've been setting a new standard. And, well, Let's just be entirely honest here. We are eating with this update, but you know for certain that other gacha titles are not going to be happy hearing about all of the stuff that we're going to be having in version 2.6. So, yeah, I mean, to me, I think this is some of the greatest news that the player base has ever gotten. I think, again, it only inspires more and more confidence for the future. But, and this is a big but, I think that there is a bit of a warning that comes with something like this, right? And a lot of people were saying, like, oh, Saint, you're just, like, doom posting too much. But this is the reality. When they've set the bar this high, they're also potentially setting themselves up for failure as well later down the road. Because once these expectations are there for like big income pulls and patches like this, then whenever there's a circumstance where they thought that they should have gotten a lot of pulls because that's been the track record, and maybe that doesn't happen, then you're gonna get a lot of individuals, right, who might be spoiled, blah, 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 whatever you want to call them, start complaining about the end result. So I'm just being realistic. If you say that I'm doom posting, you can, but I'm also all within my rights to call you a fucking idiot as well at the same time, because I'm merely expressing the reality of the situation. And if you want to deny it, feel free and go ahead. But we've already seen it happen so many times before. Like the anniversary, you fucking dumbasses. Who would be surprised if it happened again, right? Where people expected Kuro Games to cure cancer and also buy them a fucking house in Lamborghini. And they only gave you like they only gave you 120 pulls, and so people called it the worst anniversary in gacha history. Yeah, they only gave you 130 pulls on the anniversary, so it was fucking garbage. Right. Because they didn't give out the free standard 5-star. That made ZZZ's anniversary so amazing. Oh, wait, let me just look over here. Let me go see, like, what's better, a free 5-star or a good game? That was the free 5-star. This is because it's not a good game. Oh, right. So, yeah. That's why I just decided to talk about it, because it seems a lot of people here, they have a very short-term memory of like a fucking goldfish, if I'm frankly being honest. And, yeah, the anniversary literally just happened for this game, and you saw what the narrative and the discussion was surrounding that. So, yeah, me expressing my concerns in the present about how history might repeat itself is not out of the ordinary. So, yeah. Keep doing what you're doing, Kuro Games, but watch out for those AstroTurfers, because you know they're coming. They're going to AstroTurf the rewards over here, and they're going to AstroTurf again if there's ever a situation where people are disappointed by a potential lack of rewards. So just wanted to make that known. Let me know what you all think. Peace.